Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Trying to avoid arrest, a suspect drags a police officer down the road. Now we're learning more about who's facing charges.
Undoing the damage left by storms at one local cemetery. We'll take you inside the cleanup effort.
And Michigan has seen a significant spike in crime over the past year, and it's got the governor's attention. Topping our news tonight at 6, the people on the front lines of law enforcement telling Governor Whitmer today something new is fueling crime, at least among young people.
The influence of social media, just one of the topics as Governor Whitmer met today with police, pastors, prosecutors, and lawmakers. Rod Maloney is live in Pontiac tonight with some of the takeaways, Rod.
Yeah, Kimberly, the governor started today in Flint and met with prosecutors and police up there, then came here to Pontiac and met with the Oakland County prosecutor and a lot of the law enforcement from here in Metro Detroit. And what she decided was this is a listening tour that had to be taken because she said the problem is so vast. The concerns are ones governments wrestled with for generations. Unemployment, teens needing places to blow off steam creatively and safely, small police budgets, low officer pay, Detroit and MSP-trained police academy graduates getting poached by higher-paying departments. But there's something new mixed in now. Police chief saying simmering anger, particularly among teens, is ginned up by social media, leading to newly heightened disrespect of others, and especially police and sheriff's deputies.
We're coming off of an incredibly hard year and a half. There's no question that that's contributing to some of the frustration and short fuses that many people have. But as we are seeing the increase in homicides and gun violence, it's something that we take very seriously.
Members of the roundtable made it clear this can't be a one-and-done exercise. Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald volunteering to lead a once-a-month meeting here to make a serious effort to go into solutions. But in the end, for all the talk, it's all about the money. The governor says, fortunately, there is some.
Our $3 billion deficit has become a $3.5 billion surplus. We're not done with the budget yet. So there are some opportunities to do some things in this space, but we want to make sure that they are evidence-based and that they're going to be successful. And that's why this work is so important right now.
Now, one of the things that doesn't require money are fresh ideas that work. And in fact, Kim Worthy, Wayne County prosecutor, talked about how Nashville is doing some interesting and successful things in the area of mental health, and particularly with teenagers. They think that that's something can be brought here. And then they talked about other organizations like the Police Chiefs Association nationwide that may have some programs that can be imported here as well. And so they're going to be looking into all of that in the days to come. Back to you.
It's like this has really gotten the governor's attention. Rod, will she be attending more of these?
She did say that she intended to be at more. She can't beat all of them, obviously,
Sure.
but she said that this is important information to talk to the people on the front lines and get real instead of just one-on-one conversations, to get after some of these solutions that are necessary.
Interesting. Okay, Rod, thanks.
School year draws closer as state health officials release new guidelines for in-person learning. Health officials are recommending universal indoor masking for all students and staff members regardless of vaccine status. Guidance has been updated to reflect the most current recommendation from the CDC on masks. School districts are allowed, of course, to make their own rules on masking, as we reported yesterday. This is just a recommendation. Health officials also suggest vaccinations for all eligible students and staff. 3 feet of physical distancing is recommended for students in the classroom. Meanwhile, today's COVID headlines: Eastern Michigan University will require students to wear masks while in class, regardless of their vaccine status. WHO, the World Health Organization, wants any potential booster shots delayed so that countries that are struggling to get access to the vaccine can get the vaccine. The New York International Auto Show has just been canceled 2 weeks before it was supposed to start, with the Delta variant spreading and New York requiring proof of vaccination at restaurants, gyms, and other businesses.
The buzz of chainsaws could be heard throughout a quiet Pontiac cemetery today. That's because some folks decided the mess left by late July storms had been there long enough. Those storms did a number on Oak Hill Cemetery just off University near the 75 Business Loop. Victor Williams shows us some of the damage and how it's being fixed.
Well, all it takes is one quick look around to see that Mother Nature was not too kind to Oak Hill Cemetery. We have branches strewn all over the place from fallen trees, as well as many tombstones that have now been displaced. But hopefully this place will look pretty different soon, thanks to the many volunteers stopping by.
It's just a total monster mess. It's a beautiful place, and I can't believe that the city of Pontiac would let something be in shambles like this. It's been a couple weeks now. Volunteers coming out of the woodwork to clean a popular Pontiac cemetery after a major storm toppled over trees, destroying headstones and gates, leaving a place of rest in a state of disarray.
I just came out to help, and we drive by it, and we saw the devastation, so here we are.
Oak Hill Cemetery was built in the early 1800s and is owned by the city of Pontiac, but relies heavily on volunteer work in certain situations.
I think, you just got to get people out here to come out and help, because there's a lot of devastation in the cemetery.
That's where James Colleen and Mary Jo Smith come in. The two just couldn't stand to see the cemetery as an eyesore anymore.
Oh, it's terrible.
I had some old saws in the basement, and I figured I'd pull them out and come on down and see what I could do. So we're trying to clean it up and do anything that we can to help. The goal is to try to get the cemetery cleaned out as soon as possible, one tree or branch at a time. I went and bought some new chains this morning, and we're hammering through it. But even with all the volunteers that have already come, I'm told by some of the officials here in the cemetery that they're looking for even more, specifically those with experience in tree removal services. Victor Williams, Local 4.
All right, Victor, two of the big three automakers feeling the effects of the global computer chip shortage. Ford announcing today new vehicle sales in the U.S. slumped nearly 32% in July. The Dearborn automaker sold just more than 120,000 new vehicles. Meanwhile, General Motors says it made nearly $3 billion in second quarter profits. GM credits its earnings to the high prices on used vehicles and being able to prioritize production around that chip shortage to keep up with demand.
When you look at the resiliency and the creativity that cross-functional teams across General Motors came at solving issues around the semiconductor shortage, I think that's what gives me confidence as we go into the second half of the year and why we've raised guidance. Because even though there's still some unknowns as it relates to semiconductor supply, especially because of what's happening with the Delta variant of COVID, I know the team is going to apply that same energy and we'll find solutions.
Mary Barra went on to say she doesn't expect the shortage to delay the rollout of GM's electric vehicles.
In Oakland County, 2 lanes have reopened on northbound I-75, Sky 4 over the freeway this afternoon between I-696 and 12 Mile in Madison Heights. 1 lane reopened yesterday. Today, a 2nd lane reopened. Crews worked on emergency repairs after a sinkhole damaged the freeway last week. Southbound I-75 remains unchanged with 2 lanes open on that side.
An update now to a story we brought you last night at 11. A man is now charged after a Wyandotte officer is dragged during a police chase. Body cam video shows one officer trying to pull a driver out of a van when that driver takes off, dragging him. Now, the officer is okay. This chase happening after officers saw a man stealing marijuana plants. 28-year-old Edgar LeBron is now charged with assault with a dangerous weapon, fleeing and eluding, and more. Currently being held without bond.
A family going through some very tough times has hopes thanks to a long shot that came through. The Walker boys have both been in need of a bone marrow donor. The younger brother just had surgery after finding a donor match, and now the older one is waiting for his. They didn't have to look very far. In fact, their donor is the same person. Local 4's Larry Spruill is live with a ray of light for a family that's really been through a tough time. Larry.
Good evening, Kimberly. Now, the brothers, they were born with the sickle cell trait, and they have been in and out of the hospital. The younger brother, he had his surgery, is now recovering. Now it's time for the older brother. And the incredible news about all of this is that they have the same donor, which is their father. Take a listen.
Feeling pretty good.
A man of little words, but 18-year-old Justin Walker has been through a lot. He was born with a sickle cell trait and fighting it.
Actually, I was talking to my mom a couple of days ago. Before last year, I never thought that I would get rid of sickle cell. I thought, I just have it forever.
Both Justin and his younger brother Jackson Walker, who I also interviewed back in 2020, were on the bone marrow transplant list. Jackson had his surgery because his father was a match. And now Justin will have his turn. His father, well, you probably guessed it, is a match for him also.
I can finally get rid of this sickle cell. I've been dealing with it for so long. It's exciting to get done.
I talked to their mother, Esther Walker, about this whole ordeal.
It's been exciting. It's been tiring. It's been hard and wonderful. So excited for them to be done with sickle cell and not have the health issues that they had, and excited for their life to flourish.
And flourish indeed. Justin just graduated high school. He is going to college to major in mechanical engineering. Also, there is a GoFundMe account set up for him for hospital reasons. If you want to donate, you can. That information is on our website. Click on Detroit.com. We're live tonight. Larry Spruill, Local 4.
What a remarkable story. Larry, do we know when the surgery is?
Yeah, and so I asked Justin that, and like any excited teen, he is counting down the days. It's August 13th, and as you mentioned, as you heard in the piece, he is very happy.
Yeah, a little over a week, right around the corner. All right. Thanks, Larry.
That's great. All right, still ahead, we've got a remarkable transformation. You're going to be pretty inspired, I think, when you hear what used to be in this spot where there's now a beautiful park.
And here's Ben.
Kim and Devin, our dry stretch is coming to an end, at least for some of us tonight. A lot more of us as we head towards the week, and we all get hot and sweaty over the weekend. Details next.
Okay, Ben, first, Lions fans are looking forward to a more normal season, but they'll have to do it without one of their prime spots for tailgating. We'll have that story next.